Hello, everyone. So I hope you are having a great time at the Hashi Talks. Today, I'm going to go with on a topic which is simple deployment pipelines with Waypoint. A bit about myself. I'm working as a senior DevOps engineer at SAP Labs India. I'm a speaker and I talk in different technologies with Kubernetes, Cloud Foundry, and DevOps in various open source and cloud native events. And I'm also a regular conference speaker in the DevOps India Summit. I do write articles on PaaS, cloud native, and serverless technologies on different social media platforms. And when I'm not giving my talk or when I'm not engaged to any events, then I'll be traveling and I'm great foodie in nature. Okay, so the agenda for today is understanding the current developer life cycle, and then we will understand the challenges that is associated with this specific life cycle scenario, how Waypoint is trying to solve this particular challenge, and we'll try to understand Waypoint more from a developer perspective, and then a short demo on that solution. So to start with, let us see how this development and developer lifecycle looks like. Well, if we see, we can broadly categorize the lifecycle workflow around in steps or stages, as you call. So if we see the scenario from where the developer would come and basically write their source code is basically where they would be getting their code into the platform. From there it should go into the testing, and from there to build, deploy, and to the release, and then finally it goes into the target platform, where the code has to be managed on any deployment platform. It can be anything, and then we have something called as measure, which basically takes care of the observability, logging, and monitoring of these applications. Now, in the current lifecycle scenario, if we consider the first two stages of the cycle and the last two stages, we have a well-defined set of tools and standards that are defined, which is being followed by many enterprise organizations as well as from the community side. And so we have a standard set of tools that are basically taking care of these steps. Like, let's say, for example, from the coding side, the developers mostly would prefer as a Visual Studio, or they would basically store their code in GitHub or Bitbucket. And for the testing side, they would basically rely on tools such as Selenium and Circle CI for doing different kind of testing, whether it's a functional testing, integration testing, load testing. And on the right hand side, when we talk about how the code has to be deployed, then specific to the type of deployment, whether it's a VM based deployment or it's a container based deployment, you have a set of tools such as Kubernetes, you work with Docker Swarm, and then Terraform, Nomad. And once the application gets onboarded onto the platform, then you basically rely on certain observability and monitoring tools such as Grafana, Prometheus, Datadog that would basically take care of ensuring that your application is running fine. The challenge actually that comes is in the middle three phases, which is build, deploy, and release. Why? Because uh, in these three phases, there are a whole lot of tools that are basically acting in these particular stages, and they are all driven through different technology standards. And so we don't have a homogeneity deployment scenario where we can basically identify a specific tool to serve a purpose. So there is what it has been seen that there are certain fragmented and uneven mix of scripts that happens in these particular stages, which leads to sometimes confusion from the developer side that which particular tool would be suitable for the deployment. And when we again talk about in the release phase of the cycle, then there are certain domain skills which actually don't translate across the platform because we have a wide variety of tools. The problem that lies is picking up the correct tool that would basically allow the developer to take their source code, do a particular build, and then deploy and then release to the end user. So the concerns that come from the developer side is that they want to know that how we can have a basic generalized approach that would basically help in developing an application, creating a build and deploying it. And as a developer, we don't I mean as a developer, they won't care actually how this code gets deployed. What is required to is to have a consistent approach in delivering these applications. Also, one important factor that would be contributing here is that the developer would be less concerned with the infrastructure overhead, rather than they would focus more on developing their business logic, and basically trying to have control on their source code when where it actually goes from the build, deploy, and to the release phase. And developers definitely want a better interface, a UI that can basically help them to understand that if some deployment goes wrong, how that can be managed. So how these challenges can be solved? Well, some of these challenges that has been pointed out from the developer perspective can be solved with the tool called as Waypoint. Waypoint is a tool as provided from HashiCorp. It's an open source tool again, and that provides the modern day workflow to basically build, deploy, and release your software across any platform. Whether your platform is based on a cloud-based provider such as EC2 instances, or let's say you're running on GC, Google Cloud Engine instances, or maybe you are running your platform on any container-based platform such as Kubernetes, or if you're running on other content orchestrators such as Docker Swarm. Waypoint basically gives you the simplified workflow of taking that particular release, doing that build deploy part, and releasing into your target platform. The how this is achieved, the whole aspect of basically doing this complete phase is done using a single configuration file called as waypoint.html, and this is deployed using the command called waypoint up. So what happens, so you have a source code and you basically have your waypoint manifest. Together you basically perform the command called waypoint up, which takes and deploy it on any target platform. So let us bit understand about Waypoint here. So Waypoint as a configuration file allows you to define on the hierarchy that what is the project. In that project, there can be multiple applications that you can deploy. And in that applications, there are three different phases. It has to be a build phase, a deploy phase, or a release phase. Build is basically where you have your application binaries, your dependencies compiled, validated, and created into an artifact. Now, you can choose any type of build tool here. You can, let's say, for example, choose Docker file that can be coming from Docker, or you can use cloud native build packs. It is a respective, and basically Waypoint supports any type of runtime configurations. Once you have the artifact available, then you can actually push it into any registry, whether it can be a Google container registry, or it can be a Docker registry, or it can be your own registry that is hosted in your own infrastructure. And then you have the build, and then the next phase that comes is deploy. So deploy is where basically the artifact is taken and it is staged to be available. Now the thing is that in this phase the application is made ready, but it is not released to the end users. So you would ideally not associate your build to any load balancer, or might be you would not be configuring any DNS so that it is publicly available. So what happens here is that you provide an internal routable URL, which is again provided by Waypoint, that basically helps you to test your application within your cluster. And the third phase is the release. In the release, basically you take the stage application that was actually being prepared, and you would now expose it to the end users via certain public endpoint that can be provided by your load balancer, or maybe you can configure your DNS to allow routing your application to a publicly routable URL, anything. So overall, what Waypoint gives an end-to-end build, deploy, and release management workflow for your application. And one of the good so once you run the Waypoint up, you can basically add up all these three phases together. Waypoint basically gives you the flexibility of managing each of the phases separately if it is required. That means I can simply build my application source code into an artifact and later on deploy it to the target platform, or maybe I can just build and deploy, but I won't basically make it available to the end user. So that is possible. So once so one of the concern that we discuss about from the developer's perspective is that how the developer can understand whether the application build is successful or not. For that, Waypoint provides certain developer friendly features. One of the first thing is Waypoint logs. Waypoint logs just provides a simplified debugging experience that basically helps them to understand what are the recent logs from the application or deployment. Let's say there are certain failures, then they can simply gather those logs from different target platform, and they can do certain analysis, or they can basically do certain troubleshooting on that particular deployment. It is not actually the replacement of your existing persistent storage logs, where you are basically storing all the logs from the application as well as the platform, but it's a good way for the developer to know whether the application has been able to make into the target platform or there are any issues concerned to it. The other friendly features that Waypoint provides is an exec. So exec is basically where it provides a shell access environment towards in the deployment. So what it basically helps, it allows to run any remote commands that might be required from the application perspective. If there is certain debugging which is required on the code level, then also one can logging into that particular deployment and do the debugging. So it's quite handy when you consider that how you want to do certain actions on the deployment from your side. The Now when we talk about Waypoint and we see the advantages, what from the pipeline constructive or the pipeline aspect of building a complete cloud native CI/CD implementation, what we see that Waypoint basically helps in driving different phases of the continuous integration, continuous delivery model. So at every phase of the Waypoint, whether we consider the build phase or the deploy phase or the release phase, it supports a well set of language frameworks, a set of different deployment tools, and a set of different target platforms. So basically, it is actually allowing to extend itself to different plugins or the plugins and interfaces, so that it can extend the feature across many different platforms. And one good thing about is that you can basically understand the metrics that are basically coming from three different releases, because you have a nice UI from where you can visualize that how your deployment is happening. So I talked enough on the Waypoint. So let us quickly go and see in practical how we can basically run this Waypoint. So I'll just, yeah. So I have a, Kubernetes environment that I have created on the Google Cloud Platform, and it's just a simple, I mean, it's just a three-node cluster that I have just created. And what I'll try to do, I'll try to basically have Waypoint manage my complete application lifecycle. For that, I have already installed Waypoint just to save some time. And the Waypoint version that I'm currently running is 0.3.0. So this is the latest Waypoint version that was released last week. That basically brings a good amount of features regarding GitOps operation, and then enabling runner implementations that allows Waypoint to manage different remote or the target platforms, and many other new features. So first thing that what we are going to check is the context. So Waypoint basically help you to list different platforms where you can basically choose a particular platform, and you can basically think, let's say you have a dev platform, you have a staging platform, or you have a pre-production platform. You can use a single Waypoint to manage all this platform together using this context. So in my case, what I'll do, I'll try to basically use Waypoint to manage my application on Kubernetes platform. So for that, I just need to install Waypoint server. So Waypoint install, and I'll just choose platform as Kubernetes. And then I have to select or basically have to accept the terms of service, which basically allows to create a self-signed encrypted Waypoint URL that can be basically help to route the traffic within the cluster. So that is just giving the permission to use it. So now when I run this, so what it does, it basically create certain set of Kubernetes resources. Specifically, it will create a deployment, a stateful set, a bunch of services that will basically enable to use the Waypoint dashboard from where we can basically see or visualize how this deployment is happening. So it takes just a few minutes to set up. So hopefully it should be over by now. So it just wait for the load balancer IP to be uh, configured so that it can be used. Yeah, so it is now done. As we can see, basically what it has done, it has basically created a public routable URL, which is this, that is listening on port 970, 9702. Now, if I click on that, what I get, because it's on HTTP, so I have to accept allow the to work as a non-secure endpoint. And here I will get a dashboard here. Now, to use the Waypoint dashboard, I have to create a token. So I have to generate a token here, and this will basically create a token for me. And I have to just paste this token in this field so that it authenticates, and I can see that the dashboard is now accessible. But here I can see that I don't have project because still till now I haven't registered the my application with the Waypoint server. So as I was mentioning that when the Waypoint server gets initialized, some Kubernetes resources also get deployed. So let us see what are they. So if we see here, so we'll see that there's a stateful set that has been configured by Waypoint, a replica set that is taking care of the pod that is running. One is the Waypoint runner and one is the Waypoint server. And there are services, which is Waypoint, which is basically exposing or allowing me to connect to the web UI. Now, once this is done, the next thing is that I need to basically pull my application source code. So I have it already in my GitHub repository, and I'll just clone it here. So it's a simple, I'll just go inside my directory. Yeah. So it's simple Go application and nothing else. What we are interested is understanding about the configuration file, which is the waypoint.html. So if we see here, it's basically I have created or basically initialized the application with a project called as demo Waypoint, and my application that is going to be deployed here is a simple hello world application. In this case, I'm not using Docker file from Docker side to basically build it. Rather, I'm using the Google Cloud native build packs that is being that is what pack actually signifies here. And then I'll be pushing the artifact into the registry from where in the deployment our Kubernetes platform would use that and create a deployment, and it would create a deployment, but it would not expose it. I mean, it would not create a service of type load balancer. This is what would be happening in the release phase. So in the deployment, this is more about managing the application or checking the health of the application, how it is expected to run within the cluster, so that if there is something which is not meeting the meeting as per the requirements, it can be modified. So to use my application, what I have to do, I have to simply initialize Waypoint here. So what it would do, it would basically check my configuration file, whether they are valid or not. It would register this project to the Waypoint server, and then it would necessarily install all the plugins which would be required to communicate to that. And here I can see that this particular project has been registered, and there is an application which is, I mean, the application name is created, but it is not released yet. So what I have to do here, so now I have to simply create the create the workflow. So to do that, I just have to run waypoint up. So waypoint up basically does the three different, it basically takes me to go with the three different phases, which is the build, deploy, and release. So in the build phase, the all the source code would be taken, an artifact would be created out of it. That is what uh, PackCLI is doing here in this case. And it would use the builder configuration, and then it would run the complete life cycle of the cloud native application build pack, the CNB life cycle actually. So yeah, it's running the detecting, analyzing, build phase, and then once it is ready, once it is exposed, then it would basically push it into the remote registry, which in my case it is the Docker registry. So once the image is now pushed into the registry, then the next phase of deploy will start. So here it already started. It would create a deployment here, and basically it would try to use this particular artifact from the registry. And while creating the deployment, it has to basically check whether the pods are running or not, because it would run certain health checkup probes that is configured so that it should ensure that the pod should be up and running. Basically, it would try to have those checks enabled. So once this is done from the deployment side, then the service of type load balance is created, and the corresponding endpoints then point to the application pods. And now it's ready. So it already gave me a release URL here, which if I click will just tell me that my application is now running. It's just a hello world that it has printed. And if you can see, there's second a deployment URL, which is basically with the waypoint.run, and this is a internal URL that it has basically created. Now, in this case, if we go to the UI side, we can see here that there are the builds, that is there, the deployments and the releases. So with the build, we can see it is with the pack CLI that basically I created the build here, and that is how much time it's taken. Everything is being mentioned here. With the deployments, I can see all the deployments which are created for my application. So it basically starts with taking care of one deployment type, which is V1 here. And the next thing is about the releases. So in this case, basically what it would do, it would basically publish this deployment so that it is now accessible on this public routable URL. So this is how a waypoint looks like from a developer perspective. And so it's very easy if we see that the developer can simply go into the UI and just understand that how the application is behaving actually. Now, if I come into the CLI, so some of the features that I was telling is basically that Waypoint gives is first is it basically helps you to go through the logs in your existing deployment. So if I just give, I'll just get these some of the logs that was basically created during the deployment process, just basically help us to understand whether there are any failures or not. And then if needed, we can also simply exec into the particular deployment. So I just have to give bash, and then basically it would connect me to the deployment v1. And if I see, I am into the particular deployment and I can see all the files and folders corresponding to the deployment that I'll work. So that is super easy to work actually here. And then uh, if if we need to, let's say we have basically worked away with our application and we don't require anymore, there's no need to go and basically go into Kubernetes and delete each of the applications and services. You can simply go and run waypoint destroy, and when you run this, it would basically ask you to run with an auto approve command. So it would basically tell you that whether the deployment that you are trying to delete is actually you require or not. I mean, it's just an added confirmation. And so what it would do, it would basically delete all the resources that were created during the deployment phase. So it becomes super easy for you to manage your application as well. If you don't want to run it, you can simply do go and delete the resources. So then coming to my last few slides, how Waypoint addresses the current needs of a developer. So as we saw here, that Waypoint basically instills confidence in managing an application on the platform. So basically, it helps to basically create a homogeneous workflow in maintaining the build, deploy, and release workflow for an application. It is fully extensible since it allows custom development that can be done using different tools and builders. It provides confidence for the developers, as I told, and they can basically simply run different configuration related commands that are basically easy to troubleshoot and debug the application. Supports different container runtime enablement that can be done via the Docker or the build packs. Some of the resources that I basically used in shaping up the talk. And with this, thank you. And I'm open to questions now.